We work hard as physicians to take care of the health and well-being of our patients. But when it comes to our money, do we have the same condition of care? Probably not. Let's change that together. Welcome to the Financial Freedom for Physicians podcast, where we'll fight and advocate for your financial literacy. As always, I'm your host, Dr. Christopher Liu. Thanks for being here. Let's jump into the show. Hey guys, I want to welcome you guys to the Financial Freedom for Physicians podcast. We've got a great episode this week. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button as well as the notifications bell, and be sure to like, comment, and share if you like this episode. And we'll get into this week's sponsor and show. This week's episode is sponsored by CityVest. CityVest has quickly become the most popular and best way for doctors to invest in top-performing real estate private equity funds that are usually reserved for institutional investors. This unique access to investing in these institutional funds is available for the first time ever through CityVest's easy and secure online investment platform. CityVest does the hard work of conducting due diligence and vetting the investments. They even get a third-party due diligence report that is posted on their website. As a result of aggregating a several million-dollar investment amount into their access funds, CityVest gains access to investing in the institutional investment and is able to negotiate better investment terms such as a 12% preferred return. You can check them out at cityvest.com or go to the link in the show notes below. Now on to the show. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to this week's podcast episode for the Financial Freedom for Physicians podcast. And I'm your host, Dr. Christopher Liu. And I want to welcome you to this very special episode because it's the 1-year anniversary of the podcast. And as a little bit of a background and intro, so I started Financial Freedom for Physicians back in 2016 after my year hiatus as a digital nomad studying digital entrepreneurship. And what I came back with was a profound sense that the world needed financial literacy. So in addition to the academic education, we really needed to learn about money and finances and how money plays a part in our world and how it works today. So I came up with this idea of just freedom. And back then it was just an idea to empower people. How can they get more free in terms of their time, their emotions, their money, and their location? And so this led me to a study of what is freedom. So in the past, you were considered free if you had a high-paying job and you had job stability and security. And now in the post-COVID era, that paradigm has changed. So freedom is composed of 4 different types of freedom. So you have emotional freedom, which is just your ability to be happy and to be pursuing what you want to pursue, independent of money or other people or factors. You have time freedom. You can do whatever you want. Location freedom. You can do it from anywhere in the world. And you have financial freedom, which means that you have a healthy balance of finances upon which you can build your health, your relationships, your wealth, and you can contribute in a meaningful way in today's world. And so fast forward all the way to 2022, and really the last 2 years have been a wild ride. And it's really been, the podcast has really grown since 2020 during the pandemic when we were all forced to stay at home, which forced especially my company and my business to really move into a remote digital virtual company. So we've finished the final touches on that. So a lot of the speaking engagements, conferences, everything is moved into the digital realm, a lot of virtual conferences. I still speak at conferences in person, although that is now, it's not a majority, it's just a small portion. It allows me to, travel, see the world, help other people. I'll tell you a little bit about where the long-term future plan for the podcast and for the brand is towards the end of the show, but a couple of updates. So we've really expanded the team. So back in 2016, it was just me. I was doing all the content. I was doing all the editing. I was doing all the marketing, advertising. sales, everything. And really, because the brand has expanded, it really needs a lot of help on the back end. So we've hired editors, we've hired virtual assistants, we've hired social media managers, and a lot of them initially were contract, and some of them are moving into part-time and eventually full-time positions. We've also expanded my books. So my books originally were in Kindle and paperback, and now they've expanded into hardback editions as well as the Audible version. So if you're interested in the Audible versions, have really picked up because a lot of the way we're consuming media and content today is through audio. And so podcasts, Audible, these are all viable forms, and they're very easy to access, and they're very cheap on the go and on demand. So I expect the Audible book sales to surpass the Kindle book sales very quickly. We've also expanded our YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. We've also expanded the blog as well as Instagram and TikTok. So back in 2016, we've grown from one follower. Now we've also grown to amass a following of over 16,000 followers across all channels. And we're expanding into different mediums, not only just written or video, we're also in the audio as well as the recorded and live versions. We continue to contribute to major outlets, including SomiDocs, Kevin MD, Doximity, MedPage Today, White Coat Investor, and we've brought on additional sponsors, affiliates, partnerships, and which has continued to attract additional revenue, additional clients, additional funding, and overall enabled us to expand our reach and our mission. We've also, with any great enterprise or any growing business, it's not a one-man show. So there's a lot of backstage actors who really help to run the show and help to make things run smoothly. So I want to acknowledge all of the virtual assistants, the social media editors, especially the podcast editors, the blog editors, as well as all of the content creators and editors. So without them, really, it would be impossible to achieve what we're doing. And so with the increased revenue, with the increased growth, we've been able to invest more into equipment, into hiring more talent to produce more content and make it more efficient and grow the brand and scale. Now I want to shift a little bit gears. I've talked about a little bit of the updates and how the brand has grown. I want to talk about the mission. So mission and vision are super important. In my own personal skill set and my personal strengths are in strategy, in the long-term vision, and execution. So and the brand has grown so that I can now really focus 90% of my time on the grand strategy and the grand vision for where I want to take the brand and help the masses. And that wouldn't be possible without the help of all the help of the staff that we have. So initially, the mission was to empower physicians to achieve financial independence and financial freedom early on through education so that they could have more control over their time and their lives and their career. And never in my wildest imagination would this mission have grown and expanded. So not only did it provide education, but it provided coaching, it provided inspiration, and it inspired a lot of physicians to start their financial journeys a lot earlier, especially in college, medical school, started investing earlier. And a lot of physicians, they took the leap of faith, took the risk and started their own entrepreneurship journeys and creating companies and businesses outside of clinical medicine. So this has been fantastic. It's been, it's almost been a huge movement, especially after 2020. And I'm really proud of, the work of myself as well as my physician colleagues. That being said, so if you were to categorize what stage the company is in, it's in the toddler teenage stage. So at this point, we have to assess where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. So And one of the number one questions I got from people was, is this for physicians? Is it only for physicians? And I had a lot of people outside of the physician community contact me, including lawyers, doctors, dentists, financial planners, entrepreneurs. They want to come onto the show. They want to participate in an ecosystem, and they want to help expand and grow the reach. So it's time to grow and expand. So what I've done is I've expanded the reach and the mission so that not only are we going to bring guests that are non-physicians, we're going to talk about non-physician type subjects, including personal finance, personal development. And this not only serves the ecosystem, but it also helps physicians because it shows them what else is out there, what else is possible, as well as how you can incorporate what other people are doing inside of your own practice. So as physicians, we should all be entrepreneurs. We should all be growing and developing, always be adding new skill sets, new ideas, new ways of growing and innovating so that we can stay on the cutting edge and continue to succeed and flourish in today's times of uncertainty. So that's one aspect. The other aspect is we're going to see an increased number of posting, especially on the blog, posting about topics such as real estate, finance, consulting, student loans. You can also hear about new exciting fintech developments, a lot of new developments in the financial innovation space, digital assets, NFTs, cryptocurrencies. And what I want to particularly emphasize in the last two, especially NFTs and crypto, is that we're going to really focus on regulation, policy, and how to spot and avoid bad actors, because there's quite a few and it gives the industry a bad name. While I believe that the industry has a lot of potential and innovation, and I believe that it's the future, and I believe that it is going to be much bigger than the internet. So you'll see newsletter, you'll see weekly lives, you'll see an increased number of podcasts devoted to different subject topic matters, and I'm really excited. So to recap, this is the 1 year anniversary. We've really grown, expanded in ways I thought unimaginable. And now it's time to take it into the next years, which we have a lot of things planned in store for you, the audience and listeners. And, whether it's your cup of tea, there's going to be a lot of different options and a lot of education and content. So with that, I really thank you for your time and attention. And we look forward to the next year. What a fantastic show. I hope you enjoyed our very special guest. Just remember, as a shout out to our this week's sponsor, cityvest.com. Cityvest gives you access to the best real estate private equity funds with enhanced investment terms, verified due diligence, and lower risk. You can check them out at cityvest.com or click on the link in the show notes below to hear about their upcoming investment offerings. I'm excited that you made it for another episode. You are truly the best. If you've been following the show for a while, you know that my passion is to bring you the education you need to find your path to financial freedom. Please come back week after week for new content, new resources, and great guests. Until then, if you haven't already, please be sure to check out the website, www.drchrislumdphd.com for more support. I'll see you next week.